So the fucking prophecy is being fulfilled and Creative Assembly are gonna milk us for every damn penny they can. But what's that I hear? Oh my god, free pre-order DLC. Stop being butthurt. It's not free. This is only available to people who pre-order the game. Now, if after every disaster in the pre-order scene over the past few months you still trust developers, I pity you in your naivety. Oh, but Creative Assembly is ever so trustworthy. You know anything about the creative process? Not, you idiot. Clearly the art team is just adding in little extras while the main game is being finalized for shipping. You clearly don't understand anything about game development. I'm sorry. So these people saying to me that they are shipping the game without Pontus and the quintessential Greek city-states, that they didn't make them for the final game and that only by the grace of God and the art team's free time allow them to squeeze them in? They're saying it's acceptable for Creative Assembly to ship the game in this fucking state? Well, they're not. Because despite what these idiots are kidding themselves about, they are not squeezing in these extra factions in the downtime. These factions are meant to be in the normal base game. However, Creative Assembly has ripped them out in order to use them as pre-order bait and to use as DLC for anyone who didn't pre-order the game further down the line. Oh my god, stop bitching, it's not that much. I don't know where you're from, but here in Australia, Rome 2 is $80 on Steam. Now that's a fair amount of money, especially for kids who only get to choose one game. And on that point, for a full-price game, why is there so little content? Now these are exclusive factions that can be used in multiplayer campaign and custom battles according to the Steam page. So A, some players will have brought a distinct advantage over other players, and B, will they be in the campaign at all for you if you don't buy them? This is what it all really hinges on. If you don't pre-order the game, will these factions be in it at all? Will they be in there but only have their unique units if you buy the DLC? Because there are a lot more factions in this game. What about, for instance, Seleucia? Do they have uniquely crafted Silver Shield pikemen, the Scythe chariots? If they don't, why the fuck is this game being shipped so bare bones? And if they do, why don't we get to play them in multiplayer and campaign if they're already in the game? How can people happily accept developers either not making the content or charging them extra for something that by rights should be theirs already? Maybe they don't have the budget. Well, it's been stated by Creative Assembly that this is the largest budget they've ever worked with. And if that's true, maybe they shouldn't have wasted it all on the fucking facial animations for a grand strategy game. Bro, it's smart business decisions. It's just what companies do. No, it's not. It's what companies have been allowed to do. Medieval didn't have this shit. All the factions were playable for the multiplayer. Even the Mongols and the Aztecs. The game was smaller, yeah, only 21 factions. But the only ones not campaign playable were the ones that couldn't feasibly be played on the campaign. They made what they could with the engine they had and then they sold it. All of it. Now, they make an eighth of what the engine could achieve, and then surgically remove pieces of that to resell. They used a pot to lovingly grow a rose. The buyer bought it and was amazed by the care and attention they had for this one rose in this tiny little pot. But now they bought an acre and grew weeds, and when the buyer bought the field, he found all the flowers, though that they were sadder in comparison to the rose, but still admirable, had been cut off and whisked away by the owner before he left. Dude, don't like it, don't play it. Finally we get to the thoughtless, pathetic complacency. Does it occur to you that I do like the game series? In fact, I've loved it since I was 5, so maybe I want to play it without being taken advantage of, because look, nothing I say will change how well this game does. Probably the next couple will do relatively as well, but after that time the DLC will have tiptoed into an avalanche, and on that day where the run command is a pre-order exclusive, people won't stomach the bullshit and suddenly there's a nosedive in sales. Sega shuts down the studio and no more Total War. Don't kid yourselves. If they could get away with it, they'd rip the game into as many fucking tiny pieces as they could to sell to us piecemeal. Accepting it uncaringly will only make it worse.